wanna thank you 'cause everything you made is so beautiful. Every single star and every beat of my heart, and it's beautiful. I just wanna thank you 'cause everything you made is so beautiful. Every single star and every beat of my heart, and it's beautiful.
Hello humans, it's your boy Jacob, and it's time to show off some creativity. Creativity is imagining what you could do because you were made in God's image. That's right, God made you out of about 30 trillion building blocks that we call cells. And I'm about to use this many building blocks to create the International Space Station. The one I'm making is much smaller. When building a complicated structure like this, it helps to have creative building technique. Some people count out all the blocks and follow the instructions to the letter. I call these people the building block robots. Insert piece 325B into piece 356-D. Some people can just look at a picture of the International Space Station and know exactly where every little piece goes. These people are called the visionaries. Yes, I'm seeing it, it's picturesque. That piece goes there, and we bring that piece in and it comes together. I'm the kind of person who falls into the third category. I use the just wing it technique. I'm a just wing it-er person. I mean, come on, these are toys. They're supposed to be fun. How much fun is that? Now let's get creative. But most of all, let's have some fun. So I don't know. Just give me like 15 minutes. I'll get this all worked out. Why? There's just too many blocks. There's too many blocks. I've been looking. There's this one little gray piece that I need to make it perfect, and I can't find it anywhere. This is supposed to be fun. I'm supposed to be having fun, and this isn't fun at all. Whee, whee, whee. There it is. Oh no, hold on. Nobody move. I just lost it. There's a little gray piece. Clearly I could use a hand here. Probably a few hands. The story today is about a guy who needed a hand and his friends who used their hands and their head to get him some help. They worked together. Say, that's not a bad idea. I've got to make some phone calls. See you in a bit.
Good morning, everybody. It is story time again. We have been learning about God's creativity all throughout his big story in the Bible. We can look all around us and see so many examples of God's creativity in everything he made, and that includes you and me. He made us to be creative just like him. This week, we're going to jump into the New Testament of the Bible during the times when Jesus was living here on the earth. Now, there was this guy named Mark who wrote down a lot of stories about what happened during that time in Jesus' life, and they're here in a book of the Bible. Can anyone guess what book that Mark might have written down these stories in? If you guessed the book of Mark, you are correct. The book is called Mark, and we are going to start learning a story today from the second chapter in that book. And this was in a time when Jesus had been walking around to different towns. He'd been teaching and performing miracles, and people had heard about him. He was actually starting to get a little popular. People were all amazed at this Jesus guy who could heal the sick. So it got to the point that every time Jesus went into a town, he got mobbed. Like he went to Galilee and there was so many people crowding around him going, hey Jesus, that after a while he started to avoid the towns and he'd go out to the wilderness for a while for a break. But people would even follow him and track him down there. So he went ahead and went back into town. This time he went to a town called Capernaum. And of course, when he got there, word spread that Jesus was here. He went to a house to teach the people, and the house was so crowded with people inside and all around the house that there was no way anyone else could make it in. It was that crowded. Wow, it got crowded in here really fast. It's pretty, well, crowded. So all these people packed in and around the house where Jesus was teaching. It had to have been kind of hard to even hear what he was saying with all these people around, but everyone there was determined to hear what Jesus had to say and see what he was up to. Maybe they'd even see one of these miracles everybody was talking about. But you see, there was someone else that lived in this town. He was a man that couldn't walk. Here he is. You see, this man probably really wanted to see Jesus because he couldn't walk. And he'd probably heard about this amazing Jesus guy who could heal people who were sick. And he knew that if he could see this Jesus, then surely he could be healed and he'd be able to walk. But there is a big problem here. You see, whenever anybody heard Jesus was coming to town, everybody else got up and went running to go see Jesus. But he couldn't get up and run to go see Jesus. He was always left behind. But thankfully, this man had 4 friends who cared about him very, very much. They were determined to help him no matter what. And they were just about to change his life. They came and they picked him up on his mat. And they carried him by the 4 corners all the way to the house where Jesus was. The house that had a crowd all around it. And they went all around the house looking for a way to get in. And the crowds were so big they couldn't get through. There was no way to get their friend in to see Jesus. But they weren't going to let that stop them. They used their creativity to think of a plan. So they climbed up onto the roof with their friend. And then they cut a hole in the roof above where Jesus was. Then they tied ropes to the corners of his mat and lowered him down into the house through the hole. Wow! What do you think everybody else thought of this? If you were there, maybe you'd be surprised and even shocked. These guys just cut a hole in the roof and lowered this guy down on ropes. What are they doing? What's going on? But Jesus wasn't shocked. In fact, he was impressed at the faith of these men. So he looked at this man on his mat and listened to what he said. Now, you can imagine the religious leaders that were there listening to Jesus weren't happy with him talking like that. See, the problem is they believed only God can forgive sins, but they didn't believe that Jesus was God's son. Now, Jesus knew what they were thinking. So, listen to what he said next. So, Jesus wasn't done yet. Jesus looked at this man and he told him to pick up his mat and go. And he did. I can imagine he was probably pretty excited. He probably jumped up. Maybe he was so happy he did a little dance. Come on, little guy. And he took his mat and he went home. What would you think if you'd been there to see this amazing thing happen? I mean, the people in that house lived in that town. A lot of them probably knew this guy. They knew this guy could not walk. and they'd just seen Jesus heal him right in front of their eyes, and he stood up and walked out. In fact, Mark recorded for us a little bit about how the people responded. I'll read it right here. The man got up and took his mat. Then he walked away while everyone watched. All the people were amazed. They praised God and said, "We have never seen anything like this." That had to have been pretty crazy. Wow, just think of how amazing it was that these four friends were so creative and so determined to find a way to help their friend and get to see Jesus. They put their creative minds together and they thought of a plan together that not only got this man to meet Jesus, but changed his life for the better forever. And Jesus showed everyone who was there that day just how powerful he is. He could heal people, make them walk again. But not only that, he could even forgive people of their sins. Wow, everybody had to have been so amazed by this. But did you know that that only happened because these friends worked together? See, God made us all creative, but he's created us to work together. Did you know that? God created you to work with other people. I bet you, if you look around you and look for a problem that needs fixed, you could probably think of a creative way to maybe work with other people to make this situation better. Just remember, God created you to work with other people. Can you say that with me? God created you to work with other people. Now, how could this work? So let's say you look around and you see a problem. Maybe it's someone in your neighborhood has a mom who's been really sick. Maybe you and some friends could get together to help. Maybe you guys could get together and help entertain her younger kids. Maybe you could even look around and see if she needs some yard work done to help. Maybe you could ask mom and dad if they want to help. Maybe they'll chip in and get her some groceries. And by working together, you could make that whole family feel a lot better. And there's so many other things you could do if you just look around, use your creativity, and work together with your friends and family. We can all help make this world a much better place. We can all share God's love with everyone around us by working together. Remember something we always say, I should treat others the way I want to be treated. That means we should show kindness to everyone around us. We should share God's love, and we can do it even better by working together. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for Story Time today. I'm so glad you came again. Before we end for the day, let's close in prayer. Can you close your eyes and bow your head with me? Okay. Dear God, thank you so very much for giving us creativity. Thank you so much for creating us to work together. If we work with the people around us, we can do so much. We can spread your love to everyone by working together. I'm so glad you all joined us today for this amazing story. Before we leave for the day, will you close in prayer with me? We will close our eyes and bow our heads. Ready? Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this story. Thank you for showing us that you can heal, you can forgive. Thank you for showing us how we can work together. Thank you so much for giving us creativity and the ability to work with other people to make this world better. Help us all to remember that we can spread your love to everyone around us by working with other people. And help us remember that you love us too, no matter what. Thank you so much for always being with us, Lord. And in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. I hope I see you next week.